Assalamu alaikum students. Our today's chapter is China's Way to Progress, that is written by Galazio Sanetini. Before starting this chapter, let's have a look at the history of China. So students, make you understand in an easy way तकरीबन 2000 साल से चाइना में जो डायनेस्टी चल रही थी that ended in 1911. 1911 में इसका जो चिंग डायनेस्टी यहाँ पे थी उसका तख्ता उलट दिया गया और उसके बाद जो डेमोक्रेसी यहाँ पे स्टार्ट की गई, जो डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पे शुरू हुई, इट कंटिन्यू टिल 1927 and from 1927 onward there was a civil war that started in China in 1927. There were two political parties there, nationalist party and communist party. So these two parties were there, and till almost till 22 years it was a sort of a civil war that was going on there, and these were the two participants in that civil war. हुआ ये कि ये दोनों पार्टीज़ जो एक दूसरे के मद्दे मुकाबिल थीं, नेशनलिस्ट पार्टी और कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी, इनकी जंग तकरीबन 22 साल तक कंट्री में जारी रही और जिसके नतीजे में लाखों अमवात हुई और आखिरकार it was in 1949 that nationalist party was overthrown by the communist party, and it was almost limitized in only Taiwan, and the mainland of China was overpowered by the communist party. इस तरह से कम्युनिस्ट गवर्नमेंट यहाँ पे स्टार्ट हुई और कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी के यहाँ पे आते ही बहुत सारी जो इस्लाहात हुई और बहुत सारी चेंजेस इस कंट्री के अंदर आई. दीज आर नोटेबल. तो लेट्स स्टार्ट दिस चैप्टर ऑनवर्ड. For 22 years, China lay forgotten and was even confused with the small island, one of its provinces. So what is meant by the writer when he says that बहुत अरसे से, तकरीबन 22 साल से चाइना को फॉरगेट किया जा रहा था. इट मीन्स कि इसको बिल्कुल नज़रअंदाज किया जा रहा था और इसके प्रोविंसेस में से ही कोई एक आइलैंड है जिसके साथ इसको कंफ्यूज किया जा रहा था और ये समझा जाता था कि चाइना जो है दैट इज़ द ओनली दैट आइलैंड. एंड द फ्लेक्सिबल चाइनीज़ बैम्बू कर्टन was countered by Western curtain of rigid disregard. Now look at these two terms, underline these two terms: flexible Chinese bamboo and Western curtain of rigid disregard. In fact, these two terms are about the attitudes of two different nations. Chinese, who were very flexible sort of people, just like a bamboo curtain, and on the other hand, Westerners or the Western countries who were very rigid in their attitudes. So Chinese को जो Western countries हैं या समझ लें कि मगरबी ममालिक की एक सख्त रवैये का सामना जो है वो हमेशा से सहना पड़ा. Then suddenly the 1/4 of the mankind enclosed in the world's third largest country was brought out of a memory attic with a loud bang. Bang means a loud sound, a loud voice, a loud sound. So एकदम से इन लोगों ने अपने आप को मनवाया, अपने आप को रोशनास करवाया, and introduced themselves that we are some nation. The Chinese may have introduced the smile policy, but the Occidentals certainly launched the warm hug. Occidentals, Europeans. Now, when Chinese came as a nation before the Western nations, so what happened there? The Europeans had to change to bring about a change in their attitudes. जहाँ पे चाइनीज़ की स्माइल पॉलिसी काम करती थी, तो ऑक्सीडेंटल्स या यूरोपियंस को भी अपने रवैयों में लचक पैदा करना पड़ी, एंड दे स्टार्टेड अ वार्म हग. उन्होंने भी एक वार्म हग का जो एटीट्यूड है या जो एक रवैया है उसको इंट्रोड्यूस कराया. द क्राउड ऑफ ऑफिशियल विजिटर्स टू द पेकिंग performing a devoted quasi pilgrimage is now more numerous than the battalions of traders who go twice yearly to the traditional Canton fair. These are just these terms are just being used here to make it clear that how many people are there in the queue or in the line to visit China. Now जैसे ही चाइनीज़ ने अपनी अहमियत का एहसास दिलाया है तो एक लाइन लग गई है कंट्रीज़ की. Those who are taking it as a very sacred mission to visit China. Peking. Underline the word Peking. Peking is the old name of Beijing. That is the capital of China. 73 years old Yuan Lai will end up dislocating his right hand if he goes on shaking it on the present rate, with the delegations running into the hundreds of people at a time, his eyes blinded by the constant flashing of the official souvenir photographs. The writer is trying to give you an idea that how many people are there to meet with Yuan Lai at this time, that it is a danger. वो एक थोड़े से लाइट मैनर में वो इस बात को लिखते हैं कि अगर इसी तरीके से या इसी वे में चियन लाई लोगों से हाथ मिलाते रहे तो आई एम अफ्रेड दैट ही विल डिसलोकेट his hand, and if he is going on to have souvenir photographs with the delegations and with the flashing of the camera, his eyes will be blinded one day. The queue of the countries on the waiting list to recognize the People's Republic of China is growing longer, with the mounting awareness of the absurdity of the past oblivion or a political guilt complex for having kept China out of the UN for a long time. So in these lines the writer just wants to say that now there is a long line or the long queue of the countries who are still in their wait or are waiting for their turn to get in contact with China, with the past oblivion, political or a political guilt, एब्सर्डिटी ऑफ द पास्ट ओब्लिवियन कि उन्होंने माजी में चाइना को क्यों भुलाए रखा, इस शर्मिंदगी के साथ, विद दिस पोलिटिकल गिल्ट कम्प्लेक्स, एंड वाई चाइना हैड बीन kept out of United Nations for such a long time. China is now a fashion around the world, and in no uncertain terms, obviously, with the complete certainty, the writer says that China is around the fashion around the world now. Everywhere politicians of the most conservative and bourgeois, every sort of people, means kind, are attempting to rebuild for themselves a compromised career by signing the praises of Mao Zedong. Everywhere, politicians of all kinds, those who are having the old sort of ideas, conservative sort of people, and middle class or the mediocre sort of politicians, they are now attempting to rebuild a companionship with the and compromised career, themselves a compromised career, by signing the praises of Mao Zedong. It means that they want to have their relations, political or international relations with China in any way. The writer has discussed this different aspects of China in under the different headings. The first one is exemplary social experiment. Exemplary, that has become an example to the world. Social experiment, that a social experiment that has been made by the Chinese, or the new China, or the new they have tried to make a new world for the people. When confronting the enigma of Chinese planet, too many Westerners have forgotten the Asiatic background and painful colonial history. China has suffered many times in the past. Uh, they suffered a lot till they reached this level of their government now. But when the communists came to power in 1949, 49, the vast majority of the country carried on as it had been doing for the past 2000 years. They were living a very primitive sort of life. They were living just like those people who had been living there 2000 years ago, in an agricultural commune, in an अर्ली आयरन एज इकोनॉमी. इसका मतलब ये है कि जब टिल द कम्युनिस्ट्स came to the power in 1949, vast majority of country, जो ज़्यादातर लोग थे, उनकी लाइफ इतनी ही प्रिमिटिव या ओल्ड तरीके से गुज़र रही थी जैसा कि वो 2000 साल से रहते चले आ रहे थे. एंड ऑन काउंटलेस ओकेजन्स ड्यूरिंग द विजिट टू द एग्रीकल्चरल कम्यून्स वी वर प्राउडली टोल्ड. The writer says that when they interviewed the people, they told them in a proud manner, here we didn't have even have the life of the oxen and horses. They said it very proudly, but they said it in a very proud manner कि अब उनके हालात इतने चेंज हो चुके हुए हैं कि वो उनको आने वाले लोगों को इंटरव्यू में बड़े फ़ख्र से ये बताते हैं कि कुछ ही अर्सा पहले हमारी ज़िंदगियां जो थीं वो कैटल ऑक्सन बैलों और घोड़ों से भी ज़्यादा बदतर थीं. Compared to China in 1949, Russia in 1917 did not have the grim inheritance of a century of shattering multi-colonial experience. If you compare China with Russia, because now these are two powers of the world, both are communists, so we can't compare these two countries or these two nations with each other, because Russia was not facing the same conditions as China was doing. So Russia never suffered China's fate on such a sharp and persuasive Western impact, as it was forced together with many other Asiatic civilizations into a kind of national schizophrenia, not just in the terms of split economy, but above all in the terms of split culture and split personality. If you compare China with Russia, you can see, if you are interested in history, that what was the historical conditions of Russia. On the other hand, what the Chinese were facing. So आप ये कह सकते हैं कि चाइना के जो हालात हैं वो रशिया के से बिल्कुल मुख्तलिफ थे, और इन दो चीज़ों ने, और दूसरा ये कि जो चाइना को जिन हालात में का सामना था वेस्टर्नर्स के हाथों, तो हम ये कह सकते हैं कि वो एक ऐसी शिज़ोफ्रीनिया में मुब्तला हो चुके थे कि जिसमें ना सिर्फ़ कि उनकी इकोनॉमी बल्कि उनका कल्चर, बल्कि उनकी पर्सनैलिटी, ये तीनों चीज़ें डैमेज हो गई थी. इन तीनों चीज़ों के ऊपर फ़र्क पड़ रहा था. In China, the individual had been rescued from aftermaths of this unfortunate heritage by the newfound companionship common purpose, and discipline of mass organization. Underline these three things, students: newfound companionship, common purpose, and discipline of mass organization. These were the three main ideas or ideologies on which on applying which they got their destination after all. Just as the Vietnamese have withstood American technology, so the ascetic militant Chinese have gone straight to the roots of the problem that had plagued Asian countries for thousands of years. जैसे वियतनाम में वियतनामीज़ ने अमेरिकन टेक्नोलॉजी का सामना किया था, बिल्कुल इसी तरह से जैसे उन्होंने मुकाबला किया था जो सेटिक मिलिटेंट चाइनीज़ थे जिनके अंदर जंगजुआना सलाहियतें थीं, वो उन्होंने फ़ौरन मसाइल को जड़ से पकड़ा और वो मसाइल जो कि एशियन कंट्रीज़ को प्लेग्ड कर रहे थे, जो उनको डैमेज कर रहे थे, they rooted out these problems from their country. And what were these problems? Let's have a look at these problems: the lack of food, the low level of nutrition, gross inequalities of income and consumption, unemployment, and sense of social uselessness, and blind expansion of cities. So students, these are some problems with which the other Asian countries were suffering, but the Chinese rooted these problems out of their country, and these were the lack of food and low levels of nutrition. सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात कि लोगों की जब तक सेहत अच्छी नहीं होगी वो अच्छी नेशन कैसे बन सकते हैं. फर्स्ट एंड द फॉरमोस्ट नीड ऑफ एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग, दिस इज़ अ बेटर फूड एंड a good nutritious food. So they overcame this problem. Gross inequalities of the income and consumption. Inequalities means उन्होंने उस अदम तवाज़ुन को ख़त्म किया जो कि इनकम और इनकम के कंजम्पशन में एक डिफरेंस पैदा करता था ना लोगों के अंदर. अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड सेंस ऑफ सोशल यूजलेसनेस. ऑब्वियसली सोशल यूजलेसनेस इज़ द आउटकम ऑफ अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. जब तक कोई किसी के पास अच्छा रोज़गार नहीं होगा उसके अंदर अपनी सेल्फ़ रिस्पेक्ट नहीं आ सकती. तो सोशल यूजलेसनेस जो थी दैट वाज द रिज़ल्ट ऑफ द अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. दे रूटेड इट आउट. उन्होंने इसको भी अपने मुल्क से ख़त्म किया. एंड देन ब्लाइंड एक्सपेंशन ऑफ द सिटीज़. एंड द लास्ट वन दैट वाज द ब्लाइंड एक्सपेंशन. अंधाधुंध शहरों का फैलाव. दे checked all these problems from their country. So that's all for today, students. Kindly read it and we'll continue in our next lecture. Okay, Allah Hafiz.